Right, you ready to record?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm ready to record. You know what?
What?
I am glad that we've still got a couple more weeks before Tears of the Kingdom comes out, because imagine if, we'd spent all day playing it somehow, and, with a Street Deck broken copy or something. Imagine what a wrench it would be to come away from that. Us, two massive dyed-in-the-wool Zelda fans.
Imagine what a wrench, what a thing it would be to have been, let's say 7 hours deep into Tears of the Kingdom, and then having to go, we got to stop and record a podcast.
And then you've got later on, you've got to go and record another podcast.
Indeed, which are all things that, it's a good thing that we're still a week and a half, 2 weeks away from Tears of the Kingdom, and it's not just 6 foot over there.
Yeah, that's good that.
It's convenient, that.
I'd say 8 or 9 feet, but yeah.
Hypothetically.
Yeah,
it's a good thing it's not 8 or 9 or 10 feet over there.
Yeah, it's a good thing that that's not the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good that that's not a possibility
Definitely
yet.
not, no.
We'll get started then. Greetings, strangers, queer and pleasant. I'm not Laura Kate Magnet Dale.
And I'm not Jane Harris Magnet Dale. And welcome to another episode of Queer and Pleasant Strangers. It's a podcast where two queer trans women, that's us, we're wifey types.
We do that.
We talk about the media we've been consuming during the week and do silly voices and skits and try to make each other have a bit of a giggle.
Yep.
And definitely don't have anything else that we had to wrench ourselves away from this to do.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
So what have you been playing this week?
Well, what have I been playing? Well, we played some things together.
We did play some things together.
We played, let's see, just over there.
What over there?
Yeah, we
9
played,
or 10 feet over there?
Yeah, about 9 or 10 feet over there. We played Khôra, Rise of an Empire.
We did, that is about that distance over
It's about the distance over there. That's a board game that we played.
I can't remember, we've probably talked about this on the show before, but...
Probably about 2 years ago.
Yeah, do you want to refresh people who might not have heard what this board game's about?
It is a game about being a Greek city, an ancient Greek city.
Yep.
Or peoples. You've got your Spartans, your Argosians, I guess.
Yeah.
Argonauts, I guess Argonauts.
Yep.
And you basically get a playmat, you get a faction from the 8 factions.
That will start with a little bonus and, have a little upgrade tree that's specific to them. And sort of point you towards how you might build your build.
Yeah, but it's only sort of 4 things that you have to do sort of slowly over the course of the game.
Yeah, it's not a huge lead you in a direction, but it's a little bit.
Yeah, and then next to that you've got your 3 main tracks, your... economy, your culture, and your military.
Yeah, they might not be called exactly that, but that's what they are.
Yeah, so basically you're able to get higher incomes on things based on where you are on those levels. So you can get more citizenry if you've got higher economy. You can get more... what were you getting? Were you getting just victory points, wasn't it?
I was getting a lot of victory points for having high culture and then converting that.
Yes, and I was getting lots of military might.
Yeah.
Going and doing military campaigns by having a bigger army.
This is, of all the building a civilization kind of games we play, board game wise, this is the one that is the most just numbers happening.
Yes.
Crunch number, make number do. There is some lovely art, but it's not about the art. It is numbers.
It is a fine veneer over this. Numbers go up in a very interesting way.
Yes.
Crunchy.
So, at the core of it, I think it's really interesting how simple this game is, because you start with 2 dice, you can unlock a third later on by one of the trees, and you have 6 basic actions, which are things... It's a 0, yeah. You have 7 basic actions, each cost a different number on a dice, ranging from 0 to 6, and you roll your dice, and from the start you're like, cool, I rolled a 1 and a 3, I can do one action with that 1 dice that is a 0 or a 1 cost, or I can do an up to 3 cost with that 3, but you have a resource if you want to do an action that's higher than the dice you've rolled.
Yeah, you can use your citizenry to basically sort of pay that as another amount.
Yeah. So you've basically got this additional resource you're trying to manage, which is, if you want to overspend the dice you've rolled and mitigate a bad roll, you can do so, but you need to have invested in that.
Yeah, and also that is one of the, I think that's number 1. So it's absolutely possible to just keep getting that.
Yes, I like that. Like some of the very cheapest things you can do are getting scrolls, which can be used to help mitigate needing more citizens to fix your dice rolls. They can be used to help move you up tracks a bit faster. They can be used for a lot of versatile things. Like your 1 point is get more citizens to help mitigate your dice rolls and get more cards that can be played out on the board.
Yeah.
And I think your 2 point is convert your culture into victory points.
Yes.
So like your 3 lowest difficulty things to roll are helping you mitigate your bad rolls and getting you towards victory points. And I like that those things are really accessible.
Yeah.
And the things that are more expensive are going and doing combat to try and get these little laurels, which will then allow you to play cards out in front of you that might have instant or ongoing effects that need certain numbers of these little laurels collected. Or
sorry, you're talking about the knowledge tokens?
Knowledge tokens, that's what
So
they're
the laurels
called.
are separate from that
Sorry,
because
yes.
they're high-level knowledge tokens.
Yes.
Basically, you're gathering things like culture and other information.
There's a little bit of engine build with the cards that you can play, because they can be things like you get these little knowledge tokens by going to war, and then you're like, okay, if I've got a red knowledge token, I can play this card. Every time I do whatever action, I now get some money, or I now get some...
Yeah. You don't have to go to war. You can just buy them with cash.
Yes, like you can... there's an action...
3 or something
I think
like that.
it's the 3. Yeah.
You can have 1 more money than your current economy level, and then you can spend up to 5 drachma on a knowledge token of any colour.
Which you can't get the fancy big knowledge tokens that way, but I like that there are multiple routes to getting that resource that don't involve combat, even if combat is clearly like the more efficient way to get them.
Yes.
And yeah, over the course of a limited number of rounds, because each round there's a deck of events, and when the deck of events runs out, the game ends.
Yeah.
You basically try and move up on your 3 tracks as efficiently as you can, get money, get people, and work out how you're going to turn that into points.
Yeah.
It is a very... You have a limited time crunch the numbers kind of game, but it's very satisfying.
Yeah, it's really good. You've basically got 9 rounds to try and work out what to do. The first round and the last round are always exactly the same.
Yeah.
And so at the start of the turn, you are reading what the card is for the round. Apart from on the very first round, it will always be... This is what's coming up by the end of the round. You have time to prepare.
Yeah, so you can sort of see what's coming and make sure you have the things you need to sort of benefit from it if possible.
Or at least some way to mitigate that thing.
Yeah.
And that is like a really interesting thing. Like there was one way you were convinced that there was no way you were going to get it, and then I spent all of my military might on one thing.
Yeah, you had a big military lead, and it was whoever has a military lead gets a bonus, and then you just did a huge military spend. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so I did hand that to you, but it was necessary for me getting some victory points at the end.
Yeah.
But it's interesting the way that the different factions, some of them seem to have much bigger swings in what they do throughout the game than others.
Yeah.
Others just seem to sort of be leading you towards places you might have some ideas. Like, your faction seemed very much like it was helping you generally throughout the game, and mine was like, you could sort of steer yourself this sort of way, and get a little bit of free glory at the end.
I was lucky that I drafted a card at the start that synergized really well with my build, because basically my civilization's upgrade tree was that I could move up the 3 little upgrade paths more times per round, twice instead of 1. And everything would cost 1 coin less to move up those tracks.
Yes, and then you got something else that lets you...
Yeah, I had
one even less again.
Yeah, I had another card that let me have a reduction of 1, so I was able to upgrade twice per round and for a reduction of 2 coins.
Yes.
Oh no, it was. So, finding a synergy that worked meant that I was like, oh, okay, I know exactly what I'm speccing into.
Yes.
But it does require you to, like, luck into... I've got a card that works well with what my upgrades spec me on.
Yes. Yeah, I think I would have done better if I had remembered how one of the mechanics worked properly.
Yes. You were going and doing the low-level combat with your combat-focused character, forgetting you could go attack the big high-value targets.
Yes.
That are worth, like, a point multiplier at the end.
Yes. I for some reason, I thought I had to, like, work through the the ones that didn't really give you a reward early on until I got up to the other ones. There were ways I could have mitigated things, but we've not played that in a really long time.
No, it was definitely a remembering how to do things playthrough.
But I've removed it from the bottom of a big pile upstairs on the big board game shelf pile.
It's
so
now
it is in a more
we will
accessible
remember
place.
it exists pile.
It's one of those ones where I keep looking at it every time I go up and peruse the board game shelf for something to look at. But it's going to be such a hassle to get down.
Yeah, sometimes we just have to rotate a game into the it's easy to reach pile.
Yes. Yeah, some of the ones that with big boxes are unfortunately just at the bottom of piles of the heaviest boxes.
Yeah.
Which just makes them less appealing to get out. Like, Too Many Bones is a good game.
Yeah.
But it's right at the bottom of the pile. It's awkwardly sized and it's very difficult to get out.
Yeah.
And then it's got a massive steep learning curve. So I sit there going, I could pull it out of the thing, but then I've got to learn it again and it's really hard.
Sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and go, this is the relearning this game day. Sometimes you just gotta relearn.
Yeah, pop them back on the top of the pile and play through them a few times before they rotate out again. But yeah, it was nice to get it out because it is a really good game.
It is.
The components are lovely.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is just number go up the game. The theming on it is almost negligible.
It's one of the drier abstractions that we've experienced, and
which is a shame because it's a great game.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I wouldn't want too many games that were this dry of an abstraction.
Yes,
I'm happy with this one because it's the dry abstraction one.
Yeah, and I think that is the only truly dry abstraction one we've got. Like Brass Birmingham is very, very thematic.
It is. It's on that spectrum.
Yes,
it's on the spectrum of this. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have Brass Lancashire, so we don't have to worry too much about that. But yeah, I think that is probably the driest game we have.
Quite possibly.
Yeah. What else have you played?
We also played another thing that's like 9 or 10 feet over there.
Oh, yeah. We should probably talk about that. I think people are probably really excited to hear about it.
Yeah. We played a board game called Red Rising.
Yeah. Oh, no, that went back upstairs, yeah.
Oh, that's back upstairs. Red Rising.
It's based on a series of books we've never read.
Indeed. I'm sure if you've read those, you'll go, oh, that's cool. We don't know. It is a game about trying to have the best high-value hand of cards possible when the game ends. Mm-hmm. You have cards in your hand that will usually do a thing when played, but also do a thing when they're in your hand as a point scorer. And it might be it's worth this many points generally, but it's worth extra points if you've also got this card, or if you've only got orange and pink cards in your hand, or if you, like one I had last game, if every card in your hand starts with a different letter of the alphabet, it's worth bonus points. And you are basically trying to do two things. You are trying to make sure that you have a hand of things where you're fulfilling your own bonus point conditions to be worth as many points as possible, but also playing things onto the board to get resources that will get you bonus points, but also move you toward the end of the game and position you to be the one that ends the game when you're in a winning position.
Yes, so there's basically, depending on where you put or pick a card up from, so you put a card down, then you pick one up.
Yep.
And wherever you pick one up from, you get to do a particular action. You might get to move along this little fleet track. You might get to put cubes into the Institute. And you might get to pick up hydrogen tokens.
Yep, not rubies.
Or you might get to pick up the Sovereign, which is... many cards interact with the Sovereign.
Yeah, it's worth 10 points at the end of the game, and everyone has a faction ability that activates when they take the Sovereign token. Yes. But the other three, I think, are the more interesting ones in that they're all worth points in some regard. Like, the fleet track, the further up you are on it, the more points it's worth. The reputation track, is that what it's called? The influence?
The Institute.
If you have the most cubes there, your cubes are worth more points.
Yes, they're worth 4 each as opposed to 2 or 1 each.
Yep. But the hydrogen's worth a certain number of points.
They're worth 3 each.
Yep. But each of those tracks, once all 3 tracks have gone above 7, or one person's gone above 7 on 2 different tracks, the end of that round the game ends. So you can sort of see the end point of where the game will stop, and it's a game of balancing right up to the line of when I think I have the perfect hand, I could just put one thing down, and that will end the game right when I have what I want.
Yeah.
And trying to have that sort of positioning.
Yeah. It's fascinating, especially if you haven't played it enough to learn most of the combinations. I think it would be hard, because there's like 230 odd cards in that deck.
Yeah, the faction that I did really well with this time was one that I hadn't really realised was good until this game.
Yeah, this was what, you playing the black faction mostly?
The grey was the one was my
grey.
big point scorer. Grey cards get a bunch of bonus points for there'll be a couple of colours denoted at the bottom, and every card of that colour out on the board gets you bonus points at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So you are incentivized to drag the game on and get as many cards out on the table as possible, so that those points just become those cards become super valuable.
Yeah. Which was great, because I was trying to do a thing where I got a couple of particular things out of the deck. And, funnily enough, I got one of the things I needed out of the deck, and you immediately snaffled it.
Not because I knew you needed it, it just fit
It's just like,
nicely.
oh, that's a gold one, that'll do. It was like, oh, fuck.
But yeah, it's a fun little puzzle of trying to navigate to things you want that are out on the table, but maybe not in convenient positions, digging for things that you want, and like trying to come up with a strategy from what happens to be available.
Yeah. It's fascinating. I would like to see this in larger numbers. This feels like if ever there was a board game that you could put money on,
Ooh.
this feels like the kind of thing you could turn into like a Texas Hold'em
Oh yeah,
advanced.
I feel like if you waited until like the final round had finished and no one reveals their hands yet, and that's when you do the betting on how good of a hand you think you have.
You could probably work out some sort of like the first time somebody gets one of the milestones.
Yeah, each time one of the milestones hits 7.
Yeah, and then before final scoring.
You can go in and raise if you like.
Yeah.
Oh, I could see that.
I could see that being just like fucking wild.
It would be chaotic.
Yeah, especially considering we've got a lot of poker chips, so there could be a fun evening of like overall winning on multiple hands of that.
Yeah.
But and of all the games we've got, that definitely feels the most that sort of suitable game. But I enjoy it. Maybe I would get more out of it if I had read the books and understood the concept. But the artwork's nice. It's very colourful.
Every time we go through it, I'm like, these characters are fascinating. I love all the artwork of them. They're fascinating characters I know nothing about.
Yeah. All I know is that Jamie Stegmaier, who created it, of Stonemaier Games, was like, I have always wanted to make a game based on this series, and I pushed and pushed and pushed to get the rights, and I finally got the rights, and now I've made the game. Yay!
Yay!
So very happy little bean about that. What else? What else has been played?
Well, I mean, there's that thing over there.
Oh,
yeah.
That was very exciting.
I mean, over the other side of the room, sort of near the telly.
Yeah, I was thrilled by that.
Oh, yeah.
I was, I had wanted this for so long.
Yeah.
And then,
why don't you tell us about it?
We're going to talk about Hive Pocket Edition.
Let's talk about Hive Pocket Edition.
This is a game I heard about a while ago. It is a boardless board game.
Yeah.
It was invented, I think, sometime around the very early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Imagine chess, but with hexagonal pieces.
Yeah.
And they're all bugs.
Yeah. Rather than played on a board, you play by placing things in proximity to other pieces already out.
Yeah. It's really simple to teach. The base game features, I think, like 5 different types of pieces.
Yeah. You've got the queen bee that can only move 1 space around the edge per movement.
And that is the one you need to sort of imperil in order to win the game.
You need to surround it on all of its sides. Doesn't matter whether it's your pieces or the opponent's, but it's got to be surrounded on all sides.
Oh, yes.
There's the ant that can move around the edges as far as it would like.
Yep. You've got the ladybird who can move up onto the hive, across 2 spaces, and then down into a different position.
That's one of the expansion pieces, I think.
Sorry.
Yep.
Yes. The grasshopper?
Yep, there's the grasshopper.
Straight across?
Yep, leap all the way directly over to the opposite side.
In one straight line?
There's the beetle.
The beetle who can hop onto the top of the hive and stop things from moving.
Yeah, lock pieces in place, which is really pivotal. Which other ones are in the base one?
Spider?
The spider?
Spider which can move 3 places.
Exactly 3
Exactly 3 places. No more, no less.
No more, no less. And then I think the other expansion piece is the mosquito?
Yes, which can steal the actions of something it's adjacent to.
Yes. But the rules are really simple. It's With it, when you put a new piece down on the board, you have to put it, placing, touching one of your pieces that's already out,
none of the
and
others.
not touching anyone else's pieces. You can either place a piece down on the board or move a piece. That's your turn.
Yep.
They have their movement rules. You're purely trying to box in the other team's queen bee if you can.
Yeah.
I understand the comparisons to chess in that it is very much a game of thinking a few steps ahead on how to move your pieces that have unique movement rules to create a position where the opposing ruling piece is unable to escape.
Yes.
You're basically trying to checkmate a piece by surrounding it fully.
Yes, and we're still learning this. We've played this a couple of weekends now. We've had many games that have been quite over in a minute or two.
Yeah.
And I think that is still sort of learning how things move, things do.
We had one real intense game that
It
went
was
back.
so crunchy.
We had one that went back and forth for a while, where both of us had all but one space surrounding the other team's queen bee.
Yes.
But because of there's a movement rule where you can't slide a piece into a space if you would have to move pieces out the way to get it in.
Yes.
Even if there is a space for it to fit, if it can't naturally go around the edges to get into that space, it can't get into that space.
No.
And that necessitated the puzzle of trying to work out how to either move someone else's piece out the way or move the goalposts of where you were trying to surround in order to create the opening you needed.
Indeed.
It was a really interesting dance of a lot of please don't notice the moment that I move one of my pieces out of the way and make myself vulnerable so I can go in for the attack.
Yeah, that was fascinating because it got properly brain melting towards the end. But
we were both very fixated on each other's teams, and it just so happened that
I completely missed an opportunity to escape.
You were too worried about me escaping and didn't notice your own opportunity to escape. But that's the thing, is you've got to work out when your moment to run is.
Oh yeah.
It's got potential to be really crunchy, and I think the more of it we play, the more I will get my head around the logic of how to do things.
Yes.
And how to have a good crunchy game.
Yes. I am really enjoying it so far. I am looking forward to getting a better understanding of it, and the rulebook is really simple, but I feel in its simplicity it doesn't give enough examples of how some things are done.
Yeah.
And I think I need that from a board game these days.
Yeah.
And I've been looking up tournament rulings and stuff, and how examples of how moves are done.
The very simple rule book is great for not overwhelming you and getting you just jumping in and playing.
Yes.
But I definitely agree that once you've played a few games, it's okay, you're less intimidated. Here's some more info.
Yeah, and there's many sources online for things like understanding the tournament rulings of. Tournament rulings is you can't put the queen down in the first move. You have to put it down. Still have to put it down by turn 4.
Yes.
Or within your 4th turn. That's fine. But apparently it stops regular tiebreaks / draws happening. Really appreciated that. I think that might actually be mostly it. Oh, the other rule that I think we missed originally was that you can't move any pieces until the queen is down. So you can put things down, but you can't move anything until the queen is also down. Yeah. But I am really enjoying it so far. The only expansion that isn't in the set we got, because I didn't know that you could even get the expansions for Pocket Edition.
Yeah.
And I kind of put it off because I didn't know if you would play with me, because it's...
You should have asked.
Well, I don't know. We have weirdness about certain types of games.
I'll try playing anything.
Yeah, but I didn't want to spend money on it if it was going to be a...
I've said for a long time I will play chess with you.
I know, and we've never played chess.
Indeed, I always say, and then you're like, yeah, but I don't know.
But yes, Mum got us this.
Yes, this was... Mum, out of the blue, got us a game that you'd been really excited to try.
Yeah. And then you told her that I'd been really excited to try it, and she was dubious.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm being genuine.
No, I have wanted this for ages.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good to give it a try. You can apparently order the pill bug. I have ordered the pill bug. The pill bug lets you move other pieces.
Ooh.
So you can, like, send things away. Activate it. Go away.
Interesting.
Yes.
I can already see the utility.
Yes. The utility of my futility. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really enjoying Hive so far, and we will report back once we have got a good row at it.
Yeah.
Learn some strats. What about you? What have you
I
played?
mean, we could talk about the big thing over there.
The big thing.
Yeah.
The big one.
The big one.
Yeah, we finally got it.
Yeah.
Finally got there. It's been a while. We've been waiting for it, but now we've got... so we played the vignette from Final Girl, Season 2.
We played with the zombies.
We played with the zombies, the Terror from Below vignette.
Yes, so we've been talking about Final Girl the last few weeks. It's that play through a little horror movie.
Solo card tableau.
Yeah, but we've been playing it as a co-op.
Yeah.
The zombies don't have their own map. No. So we played in the space map, which I hadn't tried yet.
The Into the Void map, the USS Conrad. From the usually supposed to be for the Xenomorph, but or it comes with the Xenomorph.
Yeah. But we did zombies on a space station.
Yes. They kept appearing in the escape pods, which was very unfortunate.
Yes. So the zombies, their whole deal is if more than 3 of them are in a space together, they become a horde.
Yes.
And anytime more zombies enter that space, the horde gets stronger.
Yes.
And if there's more than 3 hordes at once, you lose.
Yep.
And
we lost that first game real fucking quickly.
Yes, we underestimated how quickly they could propagate.
Yes.
We're in space, where were they coming from?
How were they getting in through the escape pods? That's what I want to know. I kind of want to see whatever that movie was.
Yeah.
But, that I think we got like 4 turns into that, and we were just completely overrun.
We just had a string of bad luck that really ruined us. But we tried it again.
Yeah, we reset. Fully reset. We checked. We did like new setup, new event cards, reshuffled all the Terror deck, and I think gave ourselves a different final health token as well. Yeah. So as much different while still keeping the same map and killer.
Yes. So we played through that a second time, where we basically were a lot more like on it about taking out zombies early on to like stop having huge numbers of hordes early on.
Oh yes.
We found essentially Newt from the Aliens films. And sort of ran around together saving people.
Yes, we actually kept hold of a survivor before peeing them out the airlock.
And we basically collected a bunch of key cards to blow the to do the self-destruct and run away to safety before the ship exploded. And that was a really fun mechanic.
Yes.
It was a neat mechanic to like collect up these things and get our resource and go, have we got enough running energy? Have we got enough stuff to mitigate? Cool, are we definitely ready? Self-destruct, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and I think that really worked with the zombies because they're slow enough that you can, like, get to the escape pod and that's fine.
They're aimlessly shambling enough that you have some, like, room to work around them a bit.
Yeah, because with the Xenomorph, I can't remember what it's actually called, but the
Xenomorph.
The Xenomorph, it gets really fast. So, the concept of, okay, I've set the thing to detonate, I've run to the exits, and that's the end of my turn. Now there's, like, one more countdown time, because you've got 2 turns to get to the exit. In that time, potentially the Xenomorph is in the escape pod with you, and at which point I think you lose automatically. But, it was fun trying a homeless killer with just a random map.
Yeah, it was fun to see how the tones meshed together and to imagine the resulting thing we were going through.
Yeah, because this scenario and lore book for Season 2 includes basically missions for playing through every single movie or every single location with every single monster. And it gives you like specific setup cards, tells you specific terror cards that need to be in the deck.
Yeah.
Like, you still shuffle them, but, like, you know that those particular bad things are going to be in there.
Yeah.
And that's quite fascinating, but... Yeah, we've now played through the entire box set, and I think that's really cool, and I still think there is an awful lot to play through.
Indeed.
Because there's still 3 final girls we haven't opened the envelopes
for
yet.
And I still haven't faced the Xenomorph.
You still haven't faced the Xenomorph?
Yeah.
Maybe we could take the Xenomorph to the Enchanted Woods or something.
Ooh. Oh,
Well, then, have you played anything else?
I mean, I have been playing some Zelda on my Switch.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I've been playing Age of Calamity.
Oh, I've been playing that as well.
Yeah.
Big fan of that.
How are you getting on with your replay of Age of Calamity?
I'm taking it a bit easier, and I'm doing things a bit differently. I think it helped that quite recently I unlocked the ability to have chests display on the map.
Yeah.
So I've been sort of going back through the chapters, which has been, helping me get all the things from the chests.
Yeah.
I found a couple of extra Koroks while I'm there, and then on top of that, I've been getting, like, the mobbling contracts and things like that I need to unlock a bunch of things, because a lot of stuff is like, yeah, you're going to need, like, 25 moblin things. It's like, I need to kill a lot of moblins. Which of the moblin things? And frankly, the sensor thing... It's not helpful.
The Sheikah sensor is helpful sometimes for certain materials, but a lot of the time it just doesn't point you at the thing you need.
I can't tell if it's trying to tell you where to find everything, all 6 items or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or if it's just trying to tell you the things that you still need from that research.
I think it's just trying to tell you the things you still need from the research, or at least I think that's how it's meant to work.
Well, I'd hope so, but it just doesn't seem to do that properly at all.
Yeah.
Like, the number of times I've been into things like, cool, yeah, I need roast chicken still from this thing. I'll go and do this thing. Nope, I didn't get it. I've played through it twice now. That's quite a hard mission. This is beginning to seem completely pointless. So I've just been kind of leveling up a bit, doing a little bit of grinding, and then going back in and doing, like, the next thing that opens up. Your first pass reward gets you 10 roast chickens. Cool, that's at least halfway to getting the thing I wanted to get better heart recovery or whatever.
Yeah, it's not always terribly well signposted.
And also you pointed out there was DLC that I didn't even know about.
Yeah, there's DLC.
I picked up the DLC. I have now had a chance to play as the tiny robot.
Yeah.
And start doing some of the unlocking for Robbie and Pura.
Yeah. My favourite thing in that DLC that I think should just be a thing in the Zelda series going forward is Link having the Electro Cyber Nunchucks.
I haven't unlocked those yet.
Oh, they're cool. So, they can attack at a bit of a range. You sort of wield around these sort of cyber nunchucks, but they can also steal weapons from enemies.
Oh, cool.
And then you can briefly wield a, like, energy form of that weapon, and it will control, like, that weapon type. But it'll do more damage than most, like, base weapons.
Nice.
And break through enemy shields more.
Cool.
So you're doing a lot of, like, it's not good when you're one-on-one against a boss, because you can't steal boss weapons.
No.
But if there's minions around, you can just grab a minion weapon and start, like, swinging it around doing cool shit.
Nice.
You can also do Zelda on a motorbike.
Cool.
Which is fucking cool.
Nice.
Just motorcycle Zelda.
The Zelda Cycle Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's multiple Master Cycle Zeros for Zelda,
Ooh.
which are cool.
Yay.
Yeah, I have finished the story mode.
Oh, wow.
I am.
Oh, wait,
like,
hang on. Yes, finished story
yeah.
mode.
There's a bunch of stuff I still haven't done. Like, I'm still trying to get all of the components for the robot components.
Same.
There's a bunch of missions I still haven't done that I'm trying to unlock.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much more I'm going to do, but I like having it here now to just chip away at.
Yes. I think I got a bit overwhelmed because, again, that was another thing I played through all the story mode stuff quite quickly.
Yeah.
I got to the end of that. I think I was surprised by how quickly I got to the end of that.
Yeah.
Especially compared to Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition,
Yes.
which I played, a year or two beforehand.
Yeah.
So I was, like, very excited to play it because I enjoyed that, like, feeling super powerful, just cutting
Yes.
down hordes of enemies type thing. But weirdly, like, once you get post story modes, you do not feel nearly as powerful most of the time.
Yeah.
Because you're fighting things like fight 3 Lionels in a contained room, or fight like Hinox after Hinox after Hinox.
Honestly, a lot of it I've just been going back and doing older like missions just to feel powerful still.
Yeah,
to get
I mean,
stuff.
I've been doing that mostly because I'm now picking up the chests really easily.
Yeah.
I'm hoping eventually there will be a like, now we're going to show you where the Koroks are on the thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully that will unlock at some point. I don't know if that is a thing, but
I'm enjoying chipping away at it. It's been a nice time filler.
yeah, it's been. Did you fully start over from scratch?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't. I was just like, I'm just enjoying,
That's fair.
like, chipping away slowly at the bit more I had.
I will say, going through the story of this again from scratch, I genuinely really like what this does for, like, fleshing out the characters from Breath of the Wild
Yes.
in ways that, like, I feel like I have so much better of an understanding of these characters and their, like, interactions and what they are like as people and what motivates them. I've got so much better of an idea of it from this, even if it's weird fanfiction side story in places. I really like what it does for fleshing them out as people.
Do you know how much oversight like Nintendo had over this?
My understanding is Nintendo were very, like, in the room with them the whole time.
Okay, so although it's not canon, it's not like beyond the pale.
Yeah. My understanding is nothing gets thumbs up unless Nintendo's okay with it in this.
Okay.
Like, the reason... apparently...
It helps that it splinters to a different timeline. So.
Yeah. So what I will say about, like, Nintendo's level of oversight on this is apparently 6 months of development was getting the grass to look right.
Wow.
Because Nintendo was like, if it doesn't look like Breath of the Wild grass properly, no. Like, we're not putting it out unless it looks like Breath of the Wild.
I mean, it does look very much like Breath of the Wild.
Like, Nintendo was like, if you're doing this with our property, it doesn't happen unless we're happy with it.
Okay. Well, I mean, the main thing was, like, I think for me, and a lot of people, I know not you so much, but I'd really felt like I didn't get enough interaction with the champions and a lot of the people. And the big story of Breath of the Wild had already happened.
I agree with you on this.
And for Age of Calamity, it was like, hey, we're actually going to give you like a fuck of a lot of story. Like the jealousy of Rivali with Link and like all that stuff, gathering the champions together. The attempted assassination of Zelda.
I'll say this: even when you look at stuff like people have been speculating about Teba's kid stepping up as a champion in Tears of the Kingdom because of stuff in trailers, and I went back and played Breath of the Wild and was like, oh yeah, there's little hints about that in Breath of the Wild that sort of suggest where that might be the case. And then you play Age of Calamity, and there's an entire mission where Teba's kid is having a conversation with Rivali about, I just want to be like you someday. I just like very clearly setting up like the I want to be a hero and, like, rise into the steps of the champion. Teba's kid uses Rivali's Gale. Teba can't even use that. Like, it sets up Teba's kid being more talented as a champion than his father in a way that Breath of the Wild doesn't.
Nope.
Like, there's shit in this where I'm like, you set up what might be coming next better here.
Yeah. Hey, I'm you know, I really enjoy it in so many ways, but I think the story, I think they did a great job with it.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm curious to see if any of that will be brought over, because I've seen a few, like, Tears of the Kingdom theory videos recently where people have been like, this weapon that was, okay, we'll be honest, it was in Age of Calamity, so probably not canon, but also it kind of looks a bit like the horns from Tears of the Kingdom.
My favourite thing I've seen people pointing out about Tears of the Kingdom is the blacksmith shop has literally a button called Fuse Weapon that you use to combine weapons to make them stronger. Mm-hmm. Age of Calamity really set some stuff up.
How much of that stuff was already on the table by the time Age of Calamity came out?
There is a bit of me that wonders, like, did Nintendo know? Weapon fusion, that's a good way to make weapons stronger.
See that. Oh no, it's not canon. None of it's canon.
Yeah. Look, for a thing that's not technically canon, I genuinely think it does, like, a better job of its story than Breath of the Wild, in that things are happening to you in real time and you get a lot more of the characters.
Yeah. But, you know, who knows what we'll see in Tears of the Kingdom?
Who knows?
Not us. We don't know.
No, we definitely don't know.
Have you played anything else?
Oh, well, I think that's everything. I think that's
probably everything.
Is that everything, you think?
I think that's probably everything.
Well, maybe we'll have, next week we'll have things to talk about that we've played.
Maybe the week after. Well, definitely the week after.
Yeah, well, who knows? Who knows? Wink.
Wink.
Well then,
time for
this. I need your help, Jane.
Okay,
I'm struggling, so do
you need a blankie?
No, I'm all right.
Drinky?
Oh no, I'm okay.
I'm stuffy.
No, I'm all good. But
do you need to be left alone?
No. Let me tell you, I want to do a Twitch stream,
right?
And I've got to.
I mean, it's usually you do this
Yeah, but
on a Tuesday.
I've got a game I want to be streaming, but the
Right.
problem is that, without being too specific, I'm
Right.
worried that if I stream it, I might get in trouble for streaming it before I'm supposed to.
Right.
So I've been trying to come up with a name for my stream that, like, people will get it, what I'm playing,
Right.
but that, like, Nintendo isn't, the developer isn't going to go like, oh, that's just the name of the game, we've got to shut your stream down.
So Shindo the Minish.
I was thinking, like, what if I called the stream Forest Teen Skydives to Save Royal Daughter Simulator?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you see my thought process?
I don't know what you're on about, but that doesn't sound like a thing I know.
Oh, exactly. Okay, how about this? Is this a stream you would click on that definitely doesn't sound like anything particular? Gluing a sword to a bigger sword tutorial.
Are you gonna glue my Master Sword to your... I don't know what your game your sword is from?
It's the one from Sword Art Online, I think.
Oh, okay. The turquoise sword.
Yeah, no. It's...
I would be gluing a sword to a larger sword.
That would be gluing a sword to a different sword. Okay. What if I called the stream How to Make Your Own Car, Green Goo and Magic Hand Required?
Oh. I'm actually very curious. How much goo is there? Is it body safe? Do I have to make the car, and can I just enjoy the goo?
As far as I'm aware, you can't directly use the goo on people.
Oh.
You got to use it on the car materials.
Foiled again.
Right. Okay, maybe I'm being a bit too, like, vague about it. Maybe I should call my stream Saving Bleibel from Schmanendorf.
Is that a Trump thing?
No.
Does it sound like label in there at the beginning?
Schmei Schmool.
Schmeischmul?
From Schmanendorf.
Schmanendorf.
Yeah.
Is this the handbags thing?
The handbags thing?
Yeah, like, wasn't there a whole controversy around fake handbags or...
Yeah, look, as long as a certain developer's lawyers assume that that's what's going on, then I'm probably fine. Gonna go save Schmei Schmool from Schmanendorf.
Yes. Hi, welcome to the show. This week we've got all the best predictions for the latest upcoming Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, we do indeed.
So we've got all the hot gossip, all the best ideas, and all the current theories from people like you and people like us. We've got the theories, so why don't you tell us what's the first theory we've got this week?
Well, the first theory we've got is that the game will be returning to the gameplay style of Link's crossbow training.
Yeah. So it'll be like first person, horseback riding, and you will need one of those plastic gun controllers.
Oh, indeed. No more 3D open world third person sword combat. It's all horseback crossbow bolts. That's my prediction number one.
That is the latest theory, and I think you are probably absolutely definitely right there. I've also been hearing that it will be bringing back a lot of the features of Wand of Gamelon.
Oh yes, I've heard the same. They brought
classic 2D animation style for the cutscenes. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, they brought back the original voice cast for Wand of Gamelon for this one. So...
Yeah, and they will be using exactly the same kinds of cadence.
Exactly.
Of Hyrule.
Well, excuse me, other host.
Okay, you're excused.
No, it was a reference.
Oh, yes. Oh. In that, they will also be bringing back the cartoon. There'll be a new Tears of the Kingdom cartoon coming. Link will have black hair again and will be asking to be excused at all possible moments.
Exactly.
Excuse you, other host. What's your next prediction?
Well, I've been hearing that one of the major side quests in the game is actually going to be bringing back the gameplay of Tingle's Rosy Rupee adventure.
Amazing. Now, I haven't had a chance to play that one. Is that I understand that's something to do with Tingle's family and dating?
Well, a little bit. It's a little bit of a slightly weird dating sim.
Right.
Kind of. I'm going to be honest, it's a bit of a weird one.
Yeah,
you should probably brace for this.
Brace for the weirdness of Tingle, that spandex wearing, and the big smooching. Lots of smooching, I understand. And strange old men in weird clothing.
Indeed, be ready for a 30-hour side quest just dedicated to that.
So make sure you get all of the rosiest rupees or rubies, depending on how
Oh.
Wand of Gamelon we're going.
Oh.
Let's find out together. We'll be back next week with proof of all of our predictions. You'll find they're all coming true probably next week when we'll maybe have a review copy.
Oh.
So, what have you put in your eyes?
There's mainly one thing we put in our eyes this week.
Is it 3 seasons of The Good Place?
Yeah, we binged 3 seasons of The Good Place.
Yeah.
Which, granted, each season's like maybe 4 hours long for a whole season, so like, that's not that.
That's a good length of season.
Yeah. So we've talked about The Good Place before.
Long ago, back in 2019.
Yeah, so The Good Place, if you've not seen it, we'll talk about it in the vague terms first, is a show that we originally watched when, like, as it was airing just as the first season was ending.
Yes.
And it is a show that is, the premise is, hey, this woman's has died, and she's in the afterlife, she's told, hey, it's alright, you got it, you're in the good place. And then she gets told about all the things she did in her life to get to the good place, and she's like,
that is not me.
That's not me you're talking about, I did not do any of that humanitarian shit. I'm not meant to be here, I don't want to get caught. And her attempts to learn to be a better person in order to earn her place in the good place.
While occasionally there are little glitches, which
Yeah.
seem to be because she's not supposed to be there.
Yeah. And
And the people she meets along the way.
yes. Now, if you've never seen The Good Place before, listen to no other conversation we say about it. Like, can we like put a timestamp in the notes or something for people as to where to skip past
Skip
if they...
forward 2 minutes.
Yeah, skip forward like...
I will time 2 minutes from here.
Okay.
Go.
Okay. Yeah, so The Good Place is fantastic.
Yes.
For those of you who've, like, watched it already, you know that, like, the twist at the end of season 1 is fantastic and recontextualizes shit, but, like...
And you're like, what's gonna happen?
What I really like watching this, like, watching it back now, is how condensed they make this. There is no filler. Like, every idea that you think they're going to stretch out to a whole season, they're just like, no, we'll do, like, 2 or 3 episodes and then move on.
Sometimes not even that. It's like, that's half an episode.
Yeah, like, I love how quickly they get you over the notion that they're just gonna do, they're trapped in the good place and have to, the bad place and have to realize they're in the bad place, shtick again.
Yes.
They get past that so quickly.
Yes.
Yeah,
And then all the things that they sort of mention during season 1, or do a version of,
Yes.
that turns out to be other stuff later in later seasons.
Yeah, I think they do a good job of making season 2 be we're in the cycle, we've got to break out the cycle, and we've got to, like, get away from this premise.
Yes.
But, like, season 3, going to Earth, it is stuff with the judge, setting up the new good place with the new people, trying to make other people a better people on Earth because they can't get into the good place
Yes.
anymore.
Meeting that one person who was supposed to be like the person who nearly understood the universe.
Yeah, going to the accountants and understanding, like, the fundamental flaws with reality and how that humanity is being judged. They do so much and don't make it feel rushed.
Yeah.
Like, I am so impressed with how clear and concise and, like, laser-focused it is on what it's doing.
I also like that on a second watching, it doesn't suffer for being, like, watched, like, binged.
Yes.
Because some series is like, no, you really need a little bit of a gap between so you can have that sit and chat and ponder over what's happening.
Yeah.
Whereas I think this is just fine, just going, oh god, another season's over, missed that.
Yeah, it flows really well as, like, one continuous thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that show, like, really picks up its pace, like, once it hits that 3rd season of, like, we are gonna deal with philosophical topics, but also, like, we've got a big grand plan, let's just go. How are we doing with our time?
We've got to stop soon.
Okay. Oh, The Good Place is so good on a
It's so
rewatch. Yeah. Well, if we've had our 2 minutes, I think.
Probably.
Yeah. If you skipped past those 2 minutes,
Welcome back. Hello.
welcome back. Yeah.
worth
Don't
a watch.
don't learn anything about this. Trust us, go watch season 1. If you finish season 1 and are not hooked, then, you know, not for you. That's 4 hours you spent. Oh well.
Also, if you think you've had it spoiled for you, probably give it a go anyway. 'cause
Yeah.
It's sweet, it's charming, it's
and
fascinating.
Even if you know where it's going, that first season is still really interesting with that information. But God, it's such a good show.
Oh, yes.
There's not been a bad episode. It's just hit
a
after
bad
hit.
place.
Just, yeah. So yeah, what have you been watching this week?
I watched a documentary called Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds, albums that changed music on the Produce Like a Pro channel on YouTube.
Ooh.
It is a 45-minute documentary about the making of Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds musical as it was many, 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 many years ago. Like, how revolutionary it was at the time. The fact that I didn't realise it had stayed in the UK charts for like 300 plus weeks.
Yeah, people real fucking liked it.
Like, just the way that the technology they were using.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody came to them right at the beginning and went, hey, we've got this device, it's new, it's like a prototype, but we've got one. It'll link to tape machines together. So if you've got like a 24-track tape machine, we can connect them together and you could have like a 48-track tape machine. So that seemed like a fascinating idea, and then it kept breaking, and they lost months of time trying to fix it, but no one knew how to fix it. They just had to kind of work it out for themselves.
Oops.
Completely running out of money and going, hey, we can stop this now, I guess, because I can't afford to pay you right now, or anyone. Or we can bet the farm and see how far we can push it. Absolutely understand, and everyone was like, fucking go for it. Trying to release it, and the record label being like, can we think about it for 6 weeks? No one's got any money. And we've bet everything on this, and you're not even telling us if you're going to fucking release it, because you think it's a bit too much and too weird. The way they layered things together, the instruments they used, what sort of choices they made regarding that. The fact that Forever Autumn was originally a fucking Lego advert jingle. That they were like, I really like it. Maybe we could get it. No, it all has to be original music. But what if? Yeah, it is a fascinating documentary about the creation of an album that I grew up listening to, but didn't really understand what it was. It was one of those, hey, child, what can we get you to go to bed with quietly and us not have to read you stories for hours? Here's Lord of the Rings, the BBC One audio drama on tape. Here's Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. Bye! Yeah, it's a good watch if you have any interest in that album. What about you? What have you watched?
We have been watching some clips on and off, like over dinner and stuff, of Lateral with Tom Scott.
Yes, this kept turning up on TikTok.
Yeah.
So we tried to find it on other places.
Yeah.
See if we could find full episodes.
They seem to exist, but I keep being fed just like 5-minute clips and being like,
one question. Only one question.
Yeah, so the idea here is it's basically here is a sort of obscure question that you're not gonna, know the answer to instantly, but you can sort of puzzle the answer out by, talking as a group, and 3 people collectively trying to just have a conversation and work out what the answer could be.
Yes, and they set questions for each other. So.
Yeah. A good example question, I think, of one that I saw recently, to spoil one question and answer to give a sense of it, one of the questions was, what's...
Two Cokes?
The Two Cokes one's a good one, yeah. There was an advert that was banned in which a child purchases 2 cans of fizzy drink from a vending machine that they do not intend to drink, then purchases a 3rd can of fizzy drink. Why did the advert get banned? And what it's eventually getting to was the advert was banned because they bought 2 Cokes to stand on top of them to get a Pepsi, or the other way around.
To reach the button to get a Pepsi.
Yeah, to reach the button they couldn't reach on the vending machine because it was too high to get the Pepsi they wanted.
I remember that commercial.
Yeah, it was something to that effect. It's those kind of things where it's like, you might not know the event, but you can puzzle out, okay, why would someone be buying drinks they don't want to purchase?
And the question asked will usually sort of point you in sort of directions if you're sort of on the right
They'll
lines.
leave you to amble for a while and then maybe give you some hints to point toward, you might start guessing, were they buying them to give to charity, and maybe you're not supposed to show that in advertising, and eventually you wrangle around to, they stood on the drinks.
Yeah. And sometimes it'll be one person will be like, "No, I'm going to stay out of this one because I know the answer."
Yeah, the general theme is if you just know the thing, if you're like, "Oh, I remember that advert with the 2 Cokes," you
write it down.
You just write it down. You let the others puzzle it out.
Yeah,
you let them have the mystery of discovery.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really fun little format for just 5-minute-ish. Here's a thing you might not know.
QI without the transphobes.
Right, just sort of have a bit of a jokey time trying to work out a weird, obscure thing you might not know.
Yes. And usually with, like, YouTube-type people, content creators. There's been a couple of times when I've been, like, walking past you, listening to TikToks, and be like, is that, like, Mark Roper or Karen's Puzzles? Or
Yeah, it's a nice, wholesome, just, as you say, QI without some of the transphobes they occasionally get on.
I mean, I think some of them are permanent.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I haven't watched QI
Neither have I in a while.
years, but yeah.
Yeah, same general concept.
Have you watched anything else?
Not really. What about
No,
you?
same. That was it. Largely. I mean, we did watch 3 seasons of The Good Place.
We did watch 3 seasons of The Good Place, but we were busy playing things.
Yeah.
We didn't have time for watching stuff.
Yeah, lots of Hive.
Lots of Hive.
Oh, so much Hive.
Well then, time for this.
Hey Laura, we've got a new sponsor.
We've got a new sponsor.
Yeah.
Well, tell me all about it.
Well, do you excite for game?
I do excite for game.
Do you excite for game but not want to have someone just tell you all the things because they've managed to get hold of a Street Date broken copy of the game and they're just talking about it weeks beforehand?
It really would suck if I was waiting for release day and someone who was playing it early just told me stuff about it. That
just
would suck.
told you all the things. That would really suck.
I wouldn't get a chance to find out about it myself because I'd just like open Twitch and be like, oops, they're streaming and now I know who that character is.
Yeah, they're just streaming the whole damn game.
For like 4 minutes before Nintendo, so the developer shuts them down.
Yeah, they know who Richard is. They know all that stuff's about.
Oh, it's gonna be it's such a spoiler who Richard actually is. Oh,
it is. It really is. But not that we know, because we've got spoiler specs.
Oh, that we do.
Spoilerspecs.lol.net automatically filters out visual spoilers from leaked media.
Oh, I can click on the Twitch front page and not accidentally get spoiled on
weird black squares everywhere.
Exactly. I don't need to know, that you can actually fuse the Master Sword with a banana to make the ultimate weapon in Tears of the Kingdom.
I mean, how else will you fight off the Yiga if you don't have the Master Banana?
The Bananster Sword.
Bananster. Yes.
I wouldn't want to get spoiled about the Bananster Sword. Thankfully, I have the spoiler specs.
I mean, what? Or you could maybe fuse it with I don't know, maybe a pumpkin, who knows?
Maybe even.
Something like that. But what if that's not enough? What if you're worried about people saying things in your ears?
Oh, what if you
can't see it?
What if I'm walking down the street and someone just says a spoiler because they're already playing it?
Yeah, what if there's some jerk sitting outside CEX with their illegally obtained copy of the new Switch Pro with the fancy controllers and such.
Just shouting spoilers.
Just shouting spoilers like, it's got HDMI Wi-Fi connectivity and Web 5.0 and 6G and OLED 8K screen.
You've spoiled everything now.
All of the things that would have been spoiled if that was the case.
Oh.
Who knows, maybe it is. Anyway, if it was, and you had the early info ear defenders, also available from spoilerspecs.lol.net, then you wouldn't hear that. You'd be like, oh yeah, that person appears to be saying, I'm kind of a jerk a lot. They seem like a jerk.
Yeah, well, putting those two things together, I think I'll get through the next 10 days just fine.
That's spoilerspecs.lol.net. Enter the code Q&PS25, probably 9, who knows? I think we all know that I don't know. And get a discount on your spoiler specs and your early info ear defenders. Inside the boardroom of Supremacy Software.
Hi. So, you know what I'm gonna say. We got a problem again.
What?
I know.
Could it not just be a bonus just once?
I know.
Another sacrifice.
Well, see, we might have to make a sacrifice because, people have gotten their hands on our game early.
Really?
Yeah. It broke Street Date. Someone sold some copies before they were meant to, and now people have uploaded it online and it's just out there.
How does this keep happening?
I don't know.
We must be the leakiest fucking company in the world.
We must be.
I mean, we are a family. How could someone within the family do this to us?
I know. Look, I can't see how anyone would have such a grudge against us. Like, what have we ever done wrong to deserve people,
Right.
not respecting our release dates?
Right. We pay them.
We by legal definition, we do pay them.
We do pay them. We provide lighting.
Yeah.
And we tell them that we give them a discount on those energy drinks that, we artificially inflate the prices of.
But the problem we have is there are people out there downloading the game and just playing it. What do we do? How do we punish these people who are just downloading the game rather than giving us money for the game?
Can we send a private military company like we did last week?
I mean, I don't see why we can't.
Right.
There's no law that says we can't.
Well, let's do that then.
Well, I mean, that's a start, but we gotta really make an make an example out of them.
Right. Okay. Can we? Are we still allowed to have like gibbets? Could we, maybe like line Highway 9 with just the slowly rotting bodies of people who've stolen our game?
I mean,
I
feel like we might get in trouble for that one. I got a plan. I've been cooking something up.
Right.
So. I've been getting the interns to whip this together.
Right. I love whipping interns.
Exactly. So I've made a file that looks exactly like our video game.
Right.
Well, okay, I got them to make it.
Right. Yeah.
If you try and install it onto your console to play it,
right,
it will make your console literally catch fire.
Excellent.
It'll tell the fan to just like go in reverse and like warm it up
suck
rather than
more
cooling
air
it down.
Yeah,
so suck more heat into the console until it catches fire.
Yeah.
Because if any of them complain about it, we'll go, oh, what made it? What did you load on your console right imminently before it caught fire? You weren't stealing our game, were you?
You wouldn't do that, would you? Now?
No,
because you're a good, legitimate citizen.
Yeah, exactly.
What if there was some way we could have a file that emits a tone that is enough to rearrange molecules in their home that makes any organic matter within the home turn into illegal narcotics, and then it calls 911.
I mean, if you can get the people downstairs to like work out how to make that work, I'm all for it. You are a fucking genius.
I know. So, what have you put in your ears?
I put a couple of bits of new music in my ears.
Music?
Yeah, not a lot, but I listened to a couple of new bits of music. Let me find them. I listened to Didn't Have Time to Think by Math, the band.
Oh.
The track has a sort of grunge rock vibe to it, but with little bits of synth mixed in. It veers into something a bit more melodic than grunge in a couple of places, but it's generally got that as its sort of resting place. About just running headfirst at life real fast, not stopping to think or, get too in your own head about it. The way I put in my notes the lyrics, no think, only do.
No think, only do.
Sometimes just no think, only do.
Yeah.
Just didn't have time to think, just go. I also listened to a song called Here's to Life by, and this is a fantastic band name, Bandits of the Acoustic Revolution.
Okay.
It's a good band name.
It's a good band name.
The best way I can describe this track is frantic pirate ska.
I'm sold.
Right? I can't tell you anything more other than I listened to some frantic pirate ska, and it was a good time.
Yes, please.
There's a couple of new bits of music I listened to this week that I thought were worth talking about. What about you?
I mean, I made a little tiny bit of music.
Tell us about that.
I remade Megalovania using the Final Fantasy VI sound font.
Yeah, you did, for reasons.
I mean, people probably work out the reason. I edit videos for Skyen for playing Final Fantasy XIV, and goodness knows why I might have brought up Megalovania in Final Fantasy sound font.
Oh.
Anyway, I listened to a bunch of Night Vale because I had some time. I was doing some cleaning.
Yeah.
I did 4 hours of hoovering, but that wasn't any bad reason to stick my headphones on and listen to 10 episodes of Night Vale.
Yeah.
So I listened to episodes 109 to 119. I am definitely past the point I've listened to before. I thought I'd got to about 120, but maybe I only just broke the 100 barrier.
Yeah, I feel like if I crossed the 100 barrier, I barely did it before. So, like, you're listening to stuff I've never heard, which is how you found out that one of my favourite musical artists, Dessa, wrote an episode of Night Vale.
Yes.
Like, I know she'd written music that had been, like, the weather on Night Vale before, but I
Quite
did not
early on,
know...
I seem to remember.
Yeah, did not know there was just a Dessa-written episode of Night Vale.
Apparently so.
And I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen to a lot. A lot has been happening, and I think things did settle down a bit after The Man with the Tan Jacket, because it felt like that took up... That was being led to for a really long time. And I don't know if this was just like a format change generally with how they wrote the show, because it felt like it went a really long time before any big culminations of things. It was lots of like one-offs, like, okay, here is the glow cloud, here is the faceless old woman that lives in your house.
I know it took like 40 plus episodes to get to like the mayoral election, which I think is like the first big culmination of a thing in the show.
Yeah, and like they've obviously been feeding the appearance of Hiram McDaniels at that point for a while. Like, nothing really felt like a really big thing for a long time in. And then the one after that, I think, was The Man in the Tan Jacket, which leads to the first novel.
Yes.
And then there's like... there's a bit of a lull immediately after that. Partly due to the fact that they go hard into the, you don't have to listen to it, and it's not like part of the series.
Yeah.
But coming straight back after that going, oh, we all know the thing that happened. We all know the thing that happened, and we've got to thank the Man in the Tan Jacket for the thing. It's like, kind of fuck off about that, actually.
Yeah, I getcha.
So, it did settle down into, like, little builds to other things. And sometimes, like, multiple builds. So you can have just like, oh, that was just a small payoff to a thing, but also, actually, there's something big. Because I think the one immediately after The Man with the Tan Jacket is the person walking the beagle.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously, like, is that related to the dog park, maybe? And that's a whole thing. And the return of the miniature city under Lane 5 of the bowling alley.
Yes.
And then after that, we've had the coming of Hunter Car, the destruction of Night Vale, the money as the sponsor for a while, and I've just got up as far as hegemony and the baristas, and all the timelines converging. Like, stuff I had definitely never encountered before. It's like, this... Okay, I'm glad that all that has happened at a fair tick since episode, 80, I'm guessing? Because I think 80 was The Man with the Tan Jacket? Or where the first book happens. So, it doesn't feel too bad. But, it's been nice getting further into it and finding that it's less... They haven't like lent too hard into, we do other stuff and you can check that out and should check that out, and it's not important but it is, or is it? Ooh. And then like actually needing to read the book to realise that actually it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it more now that I have broken that barrier, and I hope that continues. We seem to be having like a bunch of little mini seasons at the moment. There's been a whole thing about a new member of the town council, which is weird because they're a single-bodied entity. There's been stuff about like ancient beings and the creation of Night Vale, and weird things around that. So it's been sort of a steady stream of like things are being led up to, things are paying off, and sometimes there are multiple things being led up to while something else is being paid off, so it's enough to keep you going, rather than just going, oh, we've plateaued again. And maybe we'll hit another plateau, I don't know. It's hard to write fiction for 100 and something episodes. I think we're now on to like 212, I think, just came out.
That's a lot of story to write within one setting, consistently and ongoing.
Yeah, and 5 novels at this point, I think? But yeah, I think they've done okay, and I'm back to enjoying it again, so yay! What about you? Have you listened to anything else?
No, I think that's it for me. well then, time for this.
Hey kids, are you waiting for the new game?
Yeah!
You waiting for that new game to release? You're really excited to play the new thing, the latest thing in the whole series that you've been wanting to play?
Yeah!
It's been teased for ages. Well, we've got it. Come on down to Street Breaks. We'll break street dates faster than they can even announce these damn things. Plus, if we get in trouble, we'll just rebrand to Street Breaks 2. Electric re-release on the street early baloo.
Yeah.
We can do it all over again. We got physical copies of things that haven't even been announced yet, and we'll ship them today. No need a pre-order. By the time you pre-ordered it, we've already sold out because we've street broken it. Street Breaks.
Yay! I can't wait to play Final Fantasy 20.
You don't have to.
Yeah!
Thank you for coming. I hear you're good at celebrating. Good at parties.
I've been known to celebrate from time to
I
time.
mean, you are the person who brought us combination glitter confetti.
I mean, not to toot my own horn, but...
Well, I mean,
yeah.
that horn would obviously eject a combination glitter confetti.
Well, I mean, of course, that goes without saying.
So, we were thinking maybe it's time for an even bigger celebration. What could we do? I mean, we have here on this table a whole selection of things that are related to celebrating. We've got everything from the very basics down here, like party rings.
Okay.
We've got, like, classy 80s one with flavourings and sugar in. And then we've got, like, the little traditional cone party hats over here.
Yeah.
We've got some of those little blowy things, though.
Okay. I've got some ideas. I'm sure we can start this. What if we put little party hats on champagne corks?
Okay.
So when you open the champagne cork flies off, and it also is having a little party as it flies through the air because it has a little party hat on.
We could put streamers on the back of the cork, so as it flies, it's...
I mean, now you're thinking with party combinations.
What if there was a way of having, like, a little hatch that opens in the side of the cork as it flies, so they've got the confetti glitter dropping out of the cork?
Oh, I mean, look, that goes without saying. Well, what about this? Laser lights that also are fog machines built in, so they have their own smoke so the laser's always visible.
Excellent.
Which also emits glitter confetti, because of course.
Naturally.
That is also your speaker, so it pulses in time with the music.
Excellent. Perhaps some kind of drone, so it sort of floats around the room and sprays the fog mist glitter, confetti, champagne cork, party hat, streamer, blowy thing, cake.
Yes, the confetti is cake.
Also the confetti is cake. I think we've done it. I think we have the ultimate celebration. I am ready to dethrone God.
I mean, we're almost there. Give it a sparkler.
A sparkler. Right in the eye. Do you know what I want to see more of?
What do you want to see more of?
Social Justice Warriors.
Yeah.
All right, Larry.
Right, Larry, how you doing?
Oh, trying to take things easy a bit. My sore bit's being very sore, despite the weather being a bit nicer. But you doing all right?
Doing all right.
Yeah. Well, what you been pondering, mate?
I've been paying attention to. I think it happened today. As we're talking about it.
Oh, right.
The Writers Guild of America, the big union for like TV and film writers.
Oh yeah.
Has gone on strike.
Good for them.
Good for them. It's been a long time since they've been on strike. I think the last time was.
It doesn't feel like that long ago.
I mean, the last major full work stoppage strike they did was, I think, like a decade ago. Now, at this point.
I think time just slips by these last few years.
As it does.
Older you get, obviously. Yeah.
But
don't tell me they haven't had a pay rise since then, no doubt.
I mean, barely a one, but a lot.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, a lot of their demands are about things like, and these are very reasonable demands. Not trying to get rid of their ability to earn residuals on the things they've written, because we're in a streaming era now where stuff doesn't get done.
A lot of
reruns.
A lot of the contracting for that seems to be very TV specific.
Yeah, it's you make your money on syndication, but syndication doesn't exist anymore. Really, it's on things around stuff like AI and wanting writers to have the right to not have their work fed into an AI to then replace them and write scripts on their behalf. things that are about protecting the ability to make a living from the people who are creatively making the content.
Yeah, it's a shame that all this stuff is supposed to make life easier for humanity, but it's being made by such incredibly greedy, selfish bastards that it's not going to lead to an age of fully automated luxury gay space communism, and instead is just going to make some people very, very rich while the rest of us rot at the bottom.
Yeah, but I've seen some people grumbling about the writer's strike, and it's all very, very. It's nonsense to get upset about.
Oh, yeah. I feel like it's probably the same arguments we heard a decade ago, undoubtedly.
Yeah, it's basically...
The thing I'm excited for, it's going to be delayed.
Well, it might be delayed, or the season might be cut to a shorter number of episodes, or they might sort of have to rush an ending because writers are going on strike. It's like, okay, what you should want is the people making the thing you love to be paid and compensated properly, so they don't have to go on strike.
Yeah.
Don't be upset that they're going on strike. Be upset that the companies that they work for will not give a fucking inch. Because if you look into any of this, there have been months and months and months and months of negotiations with the unions trying to get any kind of concessions, and these companies, all the big companies, are just completely stonewalling them, refusing to engage with anything. Yeah. They say that are very reasonable small demands.
Luckily, America has one place they do have really good unionisation is in writing.
Indeed, and sometimes a complete work stoppage is the only way you're going to get anywhere, because eventually a work stoppage will lead to the people at the top, the executives, having no material to put out.
Yeah.
And that is the only thing that's going to hit their bottom line is a complete work stoppage. It's the only way you get them to the table.
Yeah, it's sad that, I assume we're going to see the same things we've seen previously of they will farm the writing out to another, people in another country, or I think we had several directors that ended up writing their own scripts for a while, completely scabbing the writing process as it would normally be. And, or getting people to just ad-lib lines and just go through it that way. And it ruins some decent telly because they tried to push around it that way. It ruins some films.
But that is not the writer's fault.
Oh, no, absolutely.
It is the fault of the executives who wouldn't just fucking...
So short-sighted and so clutching onto the money with such,
Yeah, they tanked...
avarice.
Yeah, the people at the top tanked projects that could have been successful because they didn't want to fucking pay people properly for their work.
Yeah, so if you ever got angry about those things, remember that you should be angry at the people at the top and not the writers who went on strike.
You look at something like Season 2 of Heroes, it's the one I always think about, where I'm like, don't be fucking angry at the writers, be angry at the people with the purse strings who refuse to fucking pay them.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Fancy young mate?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good on, mate. Good on. Right, I think we'll go and pop the kettle on.
Oh, sounds like a plan.
Nice.
So, Laura,
Yeah?
do stuff that is available to people. Your content is created.
I do create content.
Tell us about the
online.
things.
You can find me at Laura K. Buzz pretty much everywhere. I've got that good unified branding. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Patreon, that's the one that pays the bills. If you can chuck as little as $1 a month over there, it really helps this to be a thing that can keep happening. Other than that, June 9th, 2023, that's coming up in like a month, the Access Ability Summer Showcase. It's going to be on youtube.com/LauraKBuzz and twitch.tv/LauraKBuzz. Tune in to find out about all sorts of video games and their accessibility settings that might be of interest to you. That's going to be available with ASL, BSL, audio descriptions. Check that out. June 9th, 4 p.m. UK, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. So that'll be the morning just after Summer Games Fest. Tune in. What about you? Where are you on the internet?
Me, well, I don't have unified branding. Branding. You can find me at linktree.ee/Janiac, JANEIAC. I got music, I got t-shirts, I got all sorts of things, I got written stuff. There's probably more stuff coming soon in all sorts of veins. We've got this show, we've got the skits of this show, we have other stuff that I've done in the past. You can find all sorts of creations over there. You can find my Patreon, patreon.com/stonedmonkeyradio for as little as $1 a month. You can help me do all the stuff that I do, including getting this show up and stuff and hosted and shared and skitisoded. That's patreon.com/stonedmonkeyradio. Laura, will you sing us out, please, darling?
Until next time, be a stranger.